Hey everybody, welcome back to True North VR. Today we are doing a head-to-head head strap comparison for your MetaQuest 3 and 3S headsets. We're looking at the Bobovr S3 Pro and the A3 Max made by ANNAPRO. In this one we are going to talk about the specs, we're going to do a try-on comparison, talk about adjustability, comfort, battery life, price, all that fun stuff. If you're interested in checking out individual reviews of each of these that include full unboxings, assemblies, and reviews, I'll link those in the description below. And if you're interested in purchasing either of these, I'll link those in the description. I do have a promo code for ANNAPRO that you can find in the description as well to get you 10% off on their website. Let's jump right into this one. Let's start with a quick spec comparison here. Obviously the compatibility is the same for both of them, Quest 3 and 3S. Our battery capacity is quite similar, 10,800 mAh and 10,000 mAh between the two, both hot swappable, which is very key to note here. Battery life will also give you about the same unless you're using the fan on the Bobo S3 Pro. Charging power is the same. Our weight is about 110 grams difference. We're looking at about 440 grams on the A3 Max and 550 grams on the S3 Pro, and we'll be talking about that later as well. I've got my own scale at home, so I decided to test out those weights, and they actually held pretty true. I measured 443 grams for the A3 Max and 556 grams for the S3 Pro, so pretty close to what they were saying there. Again, about 110, 113 grams difference between the two. Alright, so we're just going to start with a little try on here. Let's start with the ANNAPRO A3 Max. Got our nice knob on the back. Turn it counterclockwise. And then turn it clockwise to put that on there. Easy to take off, exact same way. Here we have the S3 Pro, same idea, knob on the back. I didn't have this plugged in. Let's plug that in. And there we go. Alright, so let's look a bit at how it is adjustable, its different flexibility points and everything. So on the ANNAPRO A3, obviously we have our knob on the back. Our back pad here can move a little bit. We'll talk about that later when we talk about the cushioning. Our first pivot point is right here, so that is easily adjustable. So once we extend this out, that can move on the back of your head wherever you need it. And then at the top here, this isn't a pivot point, just so you know, that it stays standard. But then we have our pivot point right here, and that you can see can move that up and down as you need it to change. Depending on the height of your facial interface, you'll be able to adjust that piece and get it to the right spot on your forehead, and so the facial interface can fit. So pretty simple adjustments, but it is enough to make it customizable so it is comfortable. On our Bobo S3 Pro, again we have our knob. Our back pad here is flexible as well. Again, we'll talk about that later. We got a pivot point in a very similar spot on this one, right, compared to that one. Then as we move up here, we do have these top pads that can move in and out, and you can take them out all the way as well. And then we have pivot points right here, just like the other one there. These ones are a bit stiffer. They kind of click into place instead of just moving. You could hear, and hopefully you could see that there. They would go higher, but the interface is being blocked by what's going on up here with the fan. And then you have your Quest spot there. Now with the Bobo, you can kind of adjust how far in or out this arm piece is right here. I can push it all the way to the port, or I can bring it back as well. So that does create a little bit of flexibility and adjustability with this one. With the A3 Max, it doesn't have that. Well, I guess you could slide it out more, but it does have a block right here, so you can't put it in any more than where we're at right now. Alright, so talking about the cushioning on the back of the A3 Max, we do have the leather material there. Now this is removable Velcro. I'm not going to take it all the way off because then I'm going to have to put it back on. And then we do just have the padding on the front. Now this padding isn't the leather feeling, it's the icy silk that they call it. I really do love the feel of that. I have a facial interface by High Blocks that is made of this material, and it's one of my favorite feels for sure. It's nice and cool. The only thing is, I guess the sweat and stuff would soak into it more than with the leather. The leather you can easily just wipe it off. So this feels a lot better, but if you're sweating a lot more, you can still clean it, but it's going to be a little bit harder to clean than the leather. It is removable, and so you can actually wash it if you would like, but obviously that takes more time than just wiping something down with a rag. But it is really comfy, really soft. I really do like that forehead pad being that material instead of just a leather. If we move over to the S3 Pro, its back pad is a soft leather. It's not like just the regular leather that you would feel on these head straps. It is a bit softer, super cushiony. This is one of the most comfortable back pads that I've felt because it really cushions the head. It is quite large though, just to take into consideration. Then we do have our top pieces here. Those are removable. These are removable. I should have mentioned that as well. And then our forehead pad is that leather material, that PU leather material. And it is also removable as well. So all this can easily be wiped down. Nice and thick padding. They definitely didn't chintz out on anything there with the padding. Nice and soft. Okay, now talking about some features here. So the A3 Max does have our hot swappable battery here. And one thing that they boast about is that it can be put on either way. It doesn't matter which way you put it on. It's going to charge and it's going to work. The battery itself, as I mentioned before in the specs, is 10,800 mAh, so it is slightly more than the Bobovr 10,000 mAh one. It's going to get you roughly 3 to 4 hours of extra playtime, depending on how you use it. And you could obviously purchase more of these and have more charging while you are playing, so you could swap them out as you go. Our back cushion there moves, and then we have our cord running along the side. It does have a little piece on the inside here that is holding that cord in place. And so even though it is kind of freestanding out here, I'd never found it being in the way. One thing that you've already heard, and is one of my pet peeves about this one, is very often little movements, or I shouldn't say little movements, but little adjustments or touches will trigger this to beep and reconnect. I didn't find that happen too often when I was actually playing, but anytime I would like adjust the nozzle or anything on the back, or just putting it on or putting it away, I would often bump it. It would beep really loud, and it's kind of annoying, but that's just my own little opinion there. If we move over to this one, hot swappable battery as well. It's a lot smaller of a design than that one. It does just go on in one way, nice and secure. Gives a one little beep, but never once have I had it move and beep again like that one did. Just something small. 10,000 mAh, 3 to 4 hours like that one of extra playtime. And again, you could purchase more of these batteries and have multiple charging and just swap them out as you go and pretty much have endless game time. Okay, so that's our little battery feature there. This one also does have our fan, which you can turn on just by pressing this button here. Crank it up. We're at its max. So you can probably hear that there. And we can turn it down just with that nozzle as well. Or the dial. Really easy to use. This one also has the cord running up to here and then coming back out the bottom. 2 separate cords. And it never got in the way, I found, when I was playing. When you're using the fan, it's going to use the battery faster, just to take that into consideration. So it's probably not going to last you 3 to 4 hours if you are using the fan. And people are going to give you different reviews of the fan. Some people like it and find that it works very well. Personally, for me, it didn't work very well. Yeah, it blew some cool air on the top of my head, maybe a little bit on the side, but it never really got my face. And that's kind of the whole idea, in my opinion, is to keep your face less sweaty. Because when I was doing active games, I didn't want the headset to be off of my face, like Halo straps do, so I tightened it so it was a little bit tighter, but then that blocks the air from coming in, and so it just wasn't a good fit. in my opinion, the facial interfaces that have fans that feed right into them, so it goes right down onto your face, are a better solution than this fan here. But that's just my simple opinion. In terms of fit, I found that the A3 Max has a bit more of a minimalistic feel to it, as you can see, because it has less padding and smaller padding. Our front piece here is a bit smaller, and our back piece is definitely smaller. This reaches close to the sides where that one would as well, but not quite as far. So when I put this on, I don't feel like my head is being totally enveloped in like a helmet like the S3 Pro is. This is more like the H4 Boost by Kiwi Design in that minimalistic feel for sure. And I found that with the adjustability on this one, to get it to be kind of sitting off my face, it was just easier than with the other one. Not saying that it's not capable with the S3 Pro, because it definitely is, but things were just a lot simpler with this one in terms of fit. See, there we go. Do you hear those beeps? With the S3 Pro, when I put it on, I feel like it is really enveloping my head, as I mentioned before. And it's not a bad feel. Like, I feel like it's really cushioning the back there. It's coming around the top all the way almost back to my ears here. And it just feels like it's secure, and you could almost say safe, if you know what I mean. And so it definitely is soft. If we talk about weight, I've mentioned weight earlier, but just weight again here. This one is 550 grams. That one I weighed it at 440. They say 430, roughly around there. So this is heavier, and I do feel that. If you're planning to do exercise games with the Halo strap, weight, in my opinion, is going to make a difference. And so I would go with a lighter one than with a heavier one. Price point, we're looking at $90 regular price for each of them on their respective websites. This one is currently on sale for $70 on their website. You can also use my promo code Brian Sloan Artist, all lowercase letters, for an extra 10% off. I wasn't able to get a promo code from Bobovr, so I apologize for that. So overall, if you happen to use my promo code and it is on sale, this one will be roughly $30 cheaper, which is definitely something to consider when you are purchasing this head strap. Okay, so let's do our final thoughts, pros and cons between the two. Hopefully this will help you decide which one that you should get. Hot swappable battery, 10,800 mAh, slightly longer than the Bobo one. There's no fan to suck any of that energy away as well. So overall, this one has the potential of lasting longer for sure, sometimes a lot longer depending on your fan usage for the Bobo S3. Cushioning wise, leather on the back, ice silk on the front. I really do like that ice silk feel on the front more than the leather. It is nice that it's there. You can just take it off and wash it if it gets all sweaty and stuff, so that's something to consider. The front piece is smaller than on that one because of the fan. Not by a whole lot, but it is a little bit smaller. And this is more adjustable. You can see there that height difference. So you're going to be able to use bigger interfaces with the A3 Max compared to the S3 Pro. The S3 Pro has some trouble with ones like ANNAPRO from what I've heard. It doesn't really fit very well. Weight, this is about 100 grams less, a little over 100 grams less. That is quite a bit of weight, so you are going to feel that. A lot of the weight on this one is on the back. This battery is actually heavier than the Bobo battery. That one overall has more weight because of the fan and everything. So this does still have a decent amount of weight on the back, which does act as a counterbalance, but I did notice that weight on the back of my head compared to other head straps that I've used. Price point, exact same price, regular price. This one's on sale for $20 less. And again, you can use my promo code, Brian Sloan Artist, for an extra 10% off. So this would be almost $30 cheaper if you used all of that. Not saying that you have to, just throwing it out there for you. There's that one. That's the annoying part though with that one. Okay, with our Bobo head strap, we have really nice cushioning, really soft. The back is still that leather, but it's almost a softer leather. I don't know, it is different. Feels a little cooler. It is all removable again. Front is nice and thick, and we do have these top pads. Top pads didn't really work for me. I had to take them out. They were digging into my head. I really didn't like them. Again, same amount of flexibility points and pivoting points as the A3 Max. This one you can just more easily adjust how it attaches here. Hot swappable battery as well. Much smaller design. fits on there nice. It's on the top instead of the back, which does balance a little bit better than having it straight on the back, like the A3 Max. But if you are using the fan, that battery is not going to last as long as I mentioned before. The fan, I guess I would say the fan is a nice touch, but I don't think it works very well in my opinion. Some people live by it though, and so that is something to consider if you want this built-in fan in there as well. Price point $90, regular price. I haven't really seen it go on sale, to be honest, yet. Some of the other ones have gone on sale, but this one hasn't yet. So it is potentially going to be more than the A3 Max. It is heavier, 100 grams heavier, as I mentioned before, and I did feel that weight difference when I was doing exercises with both of these. I was doing some workouts on Les Mills, and I found that it was definitely heavier than the other one. So choosing between the two, it's a tough choice. With that one potentially being a lot cheaper, my mindset always kind of goes towards that because it's still good quality. The battery is a little bit annoying on that one, but it is lasting longer than this one. I think if I was doing a lot of just sitting, watching, or sitting games, comfort-wise, I would choose the S3 Pro. I did find it overall more comfortable, and that's not saying that the A3 Max is not comfortable, because it definitely is, just not quite as enveloping and soft as the S3 Pro. But if you want to get up and do more, having that extra weight off, this is definitely a good option for that as well. I hope this video helps you out. I hope you can make a good decision off of these. If you have any experiences with either of these, you want to leave those in the comments, I would really appreciate that. I know a lot of people are passionate about which head strap that they like. In the end, the biggest thing I've learned from reviewing all these head straps, I've been reviewing VR accessories for 2.5 years now, is that the head strap fit is very personal. A lot of people like different head straps for different reasons, and I feel like that's good that we have all these different options for all of us. Personally, I'm an elite strap kind of guy. I don't use halo straps very often. I like the tight feel to the head, especially because I do a lot of active workout games, so I really want that security and no movement in the headset. So that's what I use, but these are both solid options as well. Make sure you check out my other comparison videos, all of my other full review videos, especially of each of these. I'll link those and all the playlists in the description below. Thank you for watching this one. We'll see you next time here on True North VR.